Good morning, everybody. And as usual, happy Saturday. I am Coach Ray. Thank you for joining me for today's class. So, for today's class, I do have two long sticks with me, okay? So I do have a squat rack over here to my right that is going to act as a wall. We are going to get into some rotational drills today, focusing on opening up the T-spine, all right? We're also going to get into some hip drills. The main focus of today is going to be hip drills, focusing on opening up the hips, strengthening the end ranges. We may also throw on one upper body drill, depending on how things go. So we are going to warm up with our feet and ankles first, okay? So I'm going to place one stick down. I'm going to need one stick here for now. And I'm going to set back here. So what I want to do first, we're just going to keep it real simple. So I'm going to take a shoulder width stance, maybe slightly wider. Feet are going to be pointed forward. I'm going to have the stick in line with my center line here. Hands roughly about chest height. And I want the bottom of the stick to be angled in towards me. Now this is just for balance. So from here, I'm going to bring both heels up. I want to make sure all 5 toes are in contact with the floor, okay? Pelvis is stacked under the spine, and I'm gonna slowly lower my heels back down. Keep them off the floor, keep them hovering. Bring the heels back up again. Good. Lower the heels back down to the floor, keep them hovering. Bring the heels up. Good. Make sure you're breathing. We're only using the stick for balance. Heels back down. Keep them hovering. Let's go 2 more. Heels up. Good. Heels down. Make sure all 5 toes are gripping the floor here. Heels up. Hold that position. What we're going to do now, we're going to challenge the feet. So I'm going to hover the stick off the floor. So pick up the stick. Hover it. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Drive the stick into the floor. 20%. Keep those heels up high. Good. Hover the stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Place the stick back down. Drive it into the floor again. Good. Hover the stick. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Bring the heels back down. Nice and slow. And ease off. Okay, perfect. I'm going to grab the second stick here. We're going to focus on the hips now. So what I do want to focus on is bringing the hip into adduction and abduction. So going across our center line and going outside our center line here. So I'm going to turn to the side a little bit, and I want to have my feet together. Now my left stick is going to be in line with my midfoot on my left foot. Right stick is going to be out to the side, in line with my midfoot here. All right, so think about 3 o'clock. Sorry, forgetting my clock systems here. So hands are going to be at shoulder height. I want to drive both sticks down. About 30 to 40% tension. I'm going to bring my right foot forward. I'm going to bring the instep to the left stick and push against that stick. Now the left leg needs to remain straight. Now I'm going to bring my right foot to the right stick, touch with the outside of my foot and push. Excellent. Bring the right foot back to the left stick, push with the instep. Excellent. Bring it to the right stick. Push with the outside of the foot. Keep driving those sticks down. One more time. Bring the instep to the left stick and push. Make sure you're staying up nice and tall. Bring it to the right stick. Push. Excellent. Bring the right foot back to center and ease off. We're going to switch sides. So I'm going to turn forward here. So you see the setup here. Same thing. Drive both sticks down about 30-40% tension. Push. Make sure that right foot stays grounded. Foot active. Bring the left foot forward. Bring the instep to the right stick. Push. Excellent. Bring it to the left stick. Push with the outside of the foot. Keep driving those sticks down. Bring it across. Push with the instep. You should feel those adductors light up here. Excellent. Bring it to the outside. Push. Now you're going to feel those lateral tissues light up on the hip. Okay? Doing good. Bring it to the inside. Push. Excellent. Bring it back. Push. Bring that left foot back in and ease off. Now, we're going to work on internal external rotation. So what we're going to do here, we're going to be in a hip flex position. We're going to get there with internal rotation, bring the leg up, externally rotate, bring it down. All right? So I want to have my feet together. Sticks are angled in towards my toes. Now, the width of the sticks is going to depend on you and your mobility. So from here, hands are shoulder height. I want to drive the sticks down about 30% tension, not too much because this is just a warm-up. I'm going to hover that right foot. I'm going to internally rotate my hip. I'm going to bring my hip up as high as I can. I'm going to externally rotate, bring the instep over to the other side, pushing against the stick, bring it down, and then ease off. Excellent. Let's go ahead and do that 2 more times here. Drive those sticks down 30%, hover the right foot, internally rotate the hip, keep the knee in the middle, bring the hip up, externally rotate, bring the hip down, ease off. 1 more time. Drive the sticks down, hover the right foot, internally rotate, hip up, externally rotate, back down, and ease off. Let's go ahead and switch sides here. Drive both sticks down, hover that left foot, internally rotate, hip up, externally rotate, bring the foot down, and ease off. Excellent. Got 2 more. Drop both sticks down, hover, internally rotate, up, externally rotate, down, and ease off. 1 last time. Drop down, hover, internally rotate, up, externally rotate, down, and ease off. Excellent. Now we're going to work on the spine here. So we're going to get into slap shot. We're just going to focus mainly on rotation. So I'm going to step back. I'm going to take a wide stance, as wide as whatever's comfortable. So I'm going to have my feet angled out just a little bit. And so from here, keeping my hands fully stretched out, I want to hinge, slight bend to the knees. So it's going to hang out here for a second. Allow the hamstrings to open up a little bit. Focus on your breathing. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to rotate the right end of the stick down in front, like so. Place it at my center line, or where my center line would be, and I'm going to pull apart. I'm going to ease off, come back to center. Now I'm going to rotate the left end down, place it down, pull apart. Excellent, ease off. Back to center. Let's try to rotate a little further across. Bring the right end of the stick down. Try to get a little further across. Pull apart. We're not shifting side to side here. Ease off. Back to center. Now to the left. Place it down. Pull apart. Good, ease off. Back to center. One more time. Rotate that right end down as far across as you can. Pull apart. Excellent, ease off. Bring it back up. Rotate that left end down. Pull apart. Excellent. Ease off. Back to neutral. Go ahead and stand up. Wiggle those feet in. Excellent. I'm going to grab the second stick here. We're going to get into the double hang. We're going to add in rotation going each way. So from here, I'm not going to put a ton of tension and pressure in my hands. I do want to kind of keep it even between the legs and the hands here. Right foot is forward. I got the sticks about 6 inches in front of my hips, where the line of my hips are. I'm going to have my hands up tall, and you can wiggle your foot back as you need to adjust. I'm going to hang, get those arms straight. Now I'm going to rotate side to side. So I'm going to rotate to my right, my left stick comes across, right hand comes back. I'm going to come back to center. Now I'm going to rotate to my left, right stick comes across, left stick comes back. Good, I'm going to rotate back the other way, rotate to the right. Excellent, rotate to the left. Back to center, and come up. We're going to switch sides here. So left foot forward, right foot back. Going to get into that hang again. So I'm going to rotate to the left first. Excellent. Rotate to the right. Make sure you breathe. Rotate to the left. Excellent. Rotate to the right. Back to center. Come up and out. Perfect. Let's get one last drill here. Place the stick down. Just going to try to open up the T-spine real quick. So we're going to go from the side. I want both feet to be roughly about hip to shoulder width apart. The stick is going to be about roughly a foot in front of the line of my toes here. So from here, I'm going to have my grip roughly about chin to chest height, somewhere around there, wherever's most comfortable for you. And we're going to drive the hips back, reach the hands forward, and we're just going to work in and out of that position to kind of effectively floss in and out of that. So from here, make sure your feet are active, arms straight, drive the hips back. You want to keep an extension in the spine. Reach those hands forward. Get as low as you can here. Then come back up. We're going to do that a few more times. Drive the hips back, reach the hands out. Come back up. Excellent. Let's go 3 more. Hips back, extend the hands out. Back up. 2 more. Hips back, hands out. Back up. 1 last time. Reach the hands out. back up, and relax. Awesome. Now, we're gonna get to the fun stuff. So we are gonna start off with hip drills first. So what I wanna focus on is obviously not only hip flexion, but controlling internal and external rotation. So we are gonna be using a clock system for that. Excuse me. And we are also gonna be focusing on trying to get some in-range strengthening here. So we're going to do something a little bit different with the abduction. Instead of having a stick straight out to the side, it's actually gonna be kind of behind us a little bit. So it's a little bit different, just a little bit different. So, start off with the hips here first. So what I want to do, I'm going to have my left stick, I'm going to start on my right hip. I'm going to have my left stick at 12, and my right stick's going to be at about 2 o'clock. Now, what I'm going to do is, since I'm starting on my right hip, comes up, out, and I'm going to focus on internal and external rotation. Okay? So I'm actually going to turn to the side and do this one here, at least to start. So feet are together. Left stick, bottom of the stick is angled in. Right stick's at 2 o'clock. We are going to progressively move this further out in order to create more of a challenge. So hands are at shoulder height. Right stick's at 2 o'clock, left stick's at 12. We're gonna drive both sticks down, about 50% tension, all right? So from here, I'm gonna bring my right foot up, right hip up. I'm gonna bring it out to the right stick, and I'm gonna push into the stick here. I'm gonna create that bow effect. I'm gonna internally rotate my hip. Then I'm gonna open up and externally rotate my hip, still pushing my foot against the stick. Wanna try to get that knee outside the stick. Back to center. Bring that hip forward and down and ease off, right? I'm gonna move the right stick back a little bit further to increase that range. So we're gonna do that again. So it's a little closer to 3 o'clock. Drive both sticks down, bring that right hip up. Make sure that left foot is active. Bring the right foot to the right stick. Internally rotate. Try to drop that hip down. Now externally rotate. Excellent, back to center. Bring the right hip forward and down. Ease off. We're just going to move that right stick out even further. Now we want it as close to 3 o'clock as we can get. Drive both sticks down. Bring the right hip up. Bring it to the right stick. Push the foot against the stick. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Back to center. Come forward and down. Ease off. Now we're going to switch sides. So we're going to turn forward here. Right stick's going to be at 12. Left stick's going to be at 10 o'clock. All right. Drive both sticks down. Again, 50%. Bring that left hip up. Bring it to the left stick. Push. Internally rotate. Drop that knee in. Externally rotate. Back to center. Come forward and down. Ease off. Go ahead and move that left stick out a little bit more. So drive both sticks down. Left hip up. Bring the left foot to the left stick. Drop that hip in. Internally rotate. Up. Externally rotate. Back to center. Come forward. Down. And ease off. Let's go ahead and bring it out a little further if you can. Drop both sticks down. Left hip up. Bring it out. Push that foot against the stick. Internally rotate. Good. Externally rotate. Good. Bring the hip back forward. Down. And ease off. Whew. It's a good one. So now we're going to shift onto that hip abduction, but we're going to get some extension into it as well. So I'll have to show this one a little bit from the side, or completely from the side, so you can see where the stick's lining up. So starting on the right hip, I want the stick more behind like so. All right? So it's actually pretty far behind, so in order for me to get there, I can't just go out, I have to go back. All right, so we're gonna externally rotate that hip a bit to get to it. You can adjust the left stick if you need to, but let's actually just keep it with going straight out to the side here. So, hands are at roughly about shoulder height. I wanna drive both sticks down 50%. I'm gonna hover that right foot. I'm gonna bring the outside of my foot to the right stick, and I'm gonna push that foot into the stick here, about 60%. 3, 2, 1, ease off, and relax. So, you should be feeling your glute and your external rotators lighting up quite a bit here. I'm gonna bring the stick, I'm gonna angle the bottom of the stick in a little bit more, so now I get a little more hip extension. Same thing, drive the stick down, both sticks down. I'm gonna bring the right foot to the stick, push, 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 push. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Let's go one more time on this side. Drive both sticks down. Stay up nice and tall. Bring the right foot to the right stick. Push. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. And relax, we're gonna switch sides. So right stick's gonna be at 3 o'clock, left stick's gonna be back. So we are gonna do that same thing again. So drive both sticks down, hover that left foot, bring it to the left stick, push, hold, 3, 2, 1, ease off, bring it back forward, and relax. Angle the bottom of the stick in a little bit more, so now we get more hip extension. Drive both sticks down, cover the left foot, bring it back to that left stick and push. You should be externally rotating your hip here. Hold. 3, 2, 1, ease off. One more time. Drive both sticks down, over the left foot, bring it back to that left stick, push. Push, push, push. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. Okay. Now, I'm going to use the squat rack, so I'm going to have to change the angle. Sorry. I'm going to come over here a little bit, like so. Now, if you have a pad, something to kneel on, this would be perfect time for you to get it. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to angle the bottom of the stick in towards like the corner of a wall here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drive the stick down and I'm going to hover this left hip. So my back foot, I want to keep that ankle dorsiflexed, big toe into the ground to create that power here and that stability on the back hip. So from here, I want my hands stretched out roughly about throat level. I want to drive, so the stick is in line with my center line here. I want to drive the stick down, about 50% tension, drive my back foot into the floor, squeeze that right glute. Now I'm going to hover, left hip, 3, 2, 1, back down, and ease off. The hard part about this one is actually mostly the balance, okay? So we're gonna do it again. Drive the back foot down, drive the stick into the floor, hover the left foot, left hip. 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Let's go one more time. Let's go and actually bring our hands up a little bit, lengthen that lever. So drive the stick down, drive the back foot into the floor, hover the left leg. Whoa. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Now we're going to switch. Okay. We're going to do that same thing. Arms straight. Draw that back foot down. Drive stick into the floor. Over the right hip. And ease off. And relax. Good. Let's go again. Drive the stick into the floor. Drive that back foot into the floor. Bring the right hip up. And ease off. Excellent. Bring your hands up higher. All right, last one. Drive that foot into the floor. Drive the stick into the floor. Hip up. And ease off. Excellent. Good. Now we're going to get into a shoulder press variation here. So I'm going to go into a tall kneeling position. I'm going to start on my right side first. I'm going to have the stick pressing straight forward. Now my right hand, I'll actually change the angle a little bit. Sorry about this, folks. Right there. Should be pretty good. So I'm going to go to a tall kneeling position. Now, the stick, in terms of where the point of contact is, right above my right shoulder here. Now, my right hand, I want to get it to be roughly right about where my ear is, head pointed forward. Now, a tall kneeling position allows us to kind of expose weaknesses, right? So from here, I want to keep the rib cage down, keep it in control. What I'm going to do with this right hand, I'm going to drive it into the wall here. And my elbow, I want it stacked under my hand. Now from here, I'm going to start to press overhead. Excellent, keep pushing the stick into the wall. Now I'm going to come back down. Return my hand to its original spot. I'm going to adjust my hand a little bit more. So push into the wall. About 50, 60%. Press up. Back down. Let's go one more time. Keep pushing into the wall. Press up. Back down. And ease off. Excellent. I'm going to switch sides. So I'm going to get a little closer to the camera. Stick it to the wall here. Hand out to the side. So remember, keep the hand stacked on over the elbow. So for that same thing, stay up nice and tall, keep a controlled rib cage, ribs to the hips. I'm gonna have us up a little bit higher. Drive the stick into the wall. Press up. Keep driving. Back down. Excellent, keep pushing. Up, press up overhead. Down. Let's go one more time. Press the stick up overhead. Back down. And ease off. Excellent. All right. Now, let's go ahead and get into the deep dorsal stretching. So, like I mentioned before, we are going to be focusing on rotation here. So I need to back the camera up. And I'm going to grab the other 6 foot stick here. Now, from here, you need to go out a little wider. If you have a shorter stick, you can use that one as well. Okay? So I'm going to have the stick angled in like so. And I'm going to place myself out far here. Now, I'm going to use, so my outside leg is forward, my inside leg is down, knee is down. And I want to push the top of that back foot into the floor here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up and rotate to my left. The thing is, I need to make sure I keep constant pressure on the left stick to keep my hips from moving. So the stick in my left hand is right in line with my hips. I'm going to have my left hand up as tall as I can grab. Now I want to keep having pressure going into the corner of the wall here. And then from here, I'm going to open up, rotate to my left, and reach my right hand across. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to do that again. Open up to the left, reach across. Back in. Open up to the left, reach across. Back in. And ease off. Excellent. Now, I'm going to switch over to the other side. See, let's get a different angle here. So right leg is forward. You need to drive, so remember to drive that back foot into the floor here as we do this rotation. Right stick is in line with the hips. I want to drive the stick with this leg into the corner. Open up and rotate to the right, reach across. Come back forward. Make sure you breathe. Open up to the right, reach across. Excellent, come back forward. Let's go one more time. Go open up to the right and reach across. 3, 2, 1. Ease off and relax. Now we're going to open up the chest. So from here, I'm going to angle both sticks in towards the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with an overhead position, or as much of an overhead position I can get to. Either leg forward doesn't particularly actually matter for this one. We're not really going to be switching legs. The legs aren't the focus. It's just going to be the chest and shoulders. So I'm going to actually have my right foot forward. And I'm going to start in this overhead position. My hands are on the top of the sticks, and I'm going to reach my hands out. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring my chest forward and down. So I'm going to get extension in the T-spine here. From here, I'm going to move my hands down to the side slowly. And I'm going to hold here. And I'm going to shift forward into it more to activate more of a stretch. Now from here, I'm going to try to pull my shoulder blades together. So now I'm getting an active stretch here. Now I'm going to bring my hands down towards my hips. Make sure you breathe. Bring the hands back up to shoulder height. Lean forward into it. Excellent. Bring the hands back up. Get that extension. And I'm going to slowly ease off and relax here. So now I'm going to switch angles. And yes, leaning forward, leaning forward. Now we're going to get into stretching out the hips. So we are going to get into a wide stance, kind of like a caustic squat. We are going to be lunging side to side here. The sticks are going to be on our shoulders, angled out in front. So I'm going to go with a relatively wide stance. You can start off narrow here and then widen out as we go along, as your hips get a little looser. So I'll actually go for that example. I'm going to go with a relatively wide stance, nothing significantly wide. What I'm going to do from here, sticks are on my chest and shoulders. I'm going to start to hinge my hips back, keeping my knees soft. Now from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to lunge to my right. So I'm going to push off my left leg, straighten out that left knee, lunge to my right, still driving my hips back. Then I'm going to come back to center, and I'm going to push off my right leg, straighten out that right knee, lunge to my left. So the sticks are just effectively flowing with my body here. I'm going to come back to center. I'm going to wiggle my feet out a bit wider. Do that same thing again. Push off my left foot, lunge to the right. Back to center, push off the right foot, lunge to the left. Feel that abductor starting to open up here. Back to center. Now I'm going to wiggle my feet out a little more. Push off my left leg, lunge to the right. And again, driving those hips back. Back to center. Now I'm going to lunge to my left, push off my right foot or right leg. Excellent. Come back to center. Wiggle your feet in to that shoulder width, or roughly shoulder width. And now I'm going to bring the bottoms of the sticks in. So we're about a foot in front of the line of my toes. Now from here, take a grip on the stick under my chest, and I'm going to lightly drive the sticks into the floor, and I'm going to reach my hands out, driving my hips back. I want to try to keep my back straight here. Slight bend to the knees to get a stretch on the hamstrings. I'm going to bring the sticks back in, stand up, and I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to hinge my hips back, reach my hands out, drive my hips back to get that hamstring stretch. Keep the knees soft. You don't want to lock the knees out. Going to bring my hands back in, stand up. Let's do that one more time. Hinge the hips back. Reach the hands out. Try to drive the hips away from the hands. 3, 2, 1, Hands back in, stand up, and ease off. I'm gonna place one stick down. We're gonna get into a lunging bow and arrow just to finish off. So side view for that stretch, by the way, is going to be here, reaching out, okay? So, I'm gonna have my left leg forward. Now I'm going to be doing a bow and arrow going this direction, all right? So, left leg's gonna be forward, right leg is back. Now, the stick is gonna be in line with my hips, going out to my left. I'm gonna wiggle over a little bit more, sorry about that. And I wanna keep my right foot in line with my right hip to the best of my ability. If you need to, you can always have it angled out a little bit more to actually create a wider base. So from here, stick is out to my left, and I wanna grip the stick roughly about where my hip is. I'm gonna take my right hand, reach up over the top, thumb facing down towards the floor. Now from here, the first thing I wanna do is I wanna lightly drive the stick down with both hands, and I'm gonna squeeze my right glute. Now I have a soft bend on that back leg, and now I'm going to extend the hands out, drive the hips away. I'm gonna slowly ease off. Excellent. Rotate the stick a bit. We're gonna do that again. Drive the stick down with both arms. Extend both hands out, drive the hips away. 3, 2, 1, ease off. Excellent. Now I'm gonna switch sides. Right foot forward, left foot back. Hip is in line with the, stick is in line with the hip here. Reach that left hand up and over. Grab your thumb facing down towards the floor, squeeze that back glute. Drive the stick into the ground with both hands. Extend those hands out. Breathe. Slowly come back in. Excellent. Rotate the stick. Go into it again. Drop both sticks, hands down. Extend. Slowly bring it back in and relax. Excellent. Let's go ahead and finish off with a little bit of kayaking, So I'm gonna take a step back, grip my hands out as wide as I can comfortably go. And so from here, right hand's gonna start up. I wanna keep my feet at roughly about hip to shoulder width. So we're not moving the spine here, it's just the shoulders. So I'm gonna drive that right hand through. Left hand comes up and over. Breathe. Excellent. Nice and slow. Try to feel the shoulder blades moving. Let's go backwards. And 3, 2, 1, and ease off. Excellent. And that, my friends, concludes today's stick mobility class. Thank you for joining me today, everybody. Hope everybody had a good class. I'll be sure to catch y'all on the next one. Have a wonderful Saturday. Stay safe out there.